specifically about your touchdown, and then in general about what your attitude was going into this game with knowing Keenan was out.
My attitude going into the game was that one of the best receivers in the nation is down, and I got to step up and make plays for this team in order for us to win, and that's what I tried to do tonight.
And the touchdown?
The touchdown, I was just thinking I need to get into the zone because we need to score.
Chris, can you talk about the play you made early in the game and you kind of caught it with one hand while falling down, and what you saw and how you had to adjust? You made a catch like that.
I've made a catch like that before, but I just came out into the game with a lot of energy and a lot of excitement, and I knew that we were playing against number 6 Trufant, and I know he's a good corner, so I just wanted to do something early, to spark some energy into our team.
Nick, down here. Talk about the disappointment the team feels for not being able to do a bowl game this season.
That really didn't hit me yet, but my freshman year we didn't go to a bowl game, and it's hard, but that's not the reason why you play. And you just got to look at each opportunity to play. It's a blessing to play this game at this level, so that's what you got to take away from it, because the bowl game isn't the only reason you play the game.
First, did they do anything that surprised you on offense? Were they doing anything different? The quarterback got outside of containment a couple of times. Was that something you guys were trying to stop?
Your first question about what they were doing, as an offense, they have a very complex offense. In the last 4 games, they showed that they were a run team. One game, the first 10 plays, predominantly run. The next game they came out, did 8 out of the 10 first plays were pass. So they do a good job of mixing it up. And we were preparing for that all week going into the game. They did do a couple things that you can't practice everything, but we were prepared for them to mix it up. And their quarterback, in Price, he does an excellent job scrambling. He's the best scrambler we faced all year. And for the most part, I think we did a good job of keeping him contained. In our defense, we have a couple things that we can kind of get him to go where we want him to go, and then so we did a fairly good job of containing him. Such a great athlete.
Nick, you had defense 2 fourth down stops, and I think came up with 4 turnovers in all. Does it feel like a shame to waste an effort like that, and what's a losing result?
I mean, that's tough, but you got to give credit to Washington. They have a very good defense as well. A defensive performance such as that's what, as a defensive player, that's the kind of games that you expect to play in. You don't want to. You're not surprised by those kind of statistics on defense, but. Any loss is a hard loss. You don't play the game to lose. So.
Nick, there were a lot of penalties in the game for both sides. Would you characterize the game as being maybe unusually aggressive or dirty at times, or was it not that much?
It's a very aggressive sport, and this game was on a certain level. It was a personal game to us. My freshman year, they beat us on the last drive. We lost to them last year, so there's a lot of guys that really wanted this game, and it was just a hard-fought football game.
Chris, the offense was able to drive the ball into the red zone quite a few times, but there you bogged down with either settling for field goals or turnovers. What went wrong in the red zone today?
In the red zone, I don't think we executed all our plays like we were supposed to. We had a couple drops, fumbles. We just got to get all the turnovers. We got to try to eliminate them a little bit better. And when we're close to the zone, we got to have the mentality that we have to get in. And I feel like we didn't have it like that tonight. Well, I mean, I do think we did, but it was just we faced a lot of adversity, and we couldn't come up with it.
Can either of you try to explain why you think there were just so many fumbles on both sides today?
I mean, I don't think there's a reason for why there's fumbles. I mean, you have to secure the ball, but I've made a fair share of fumbles, and so have our running backs. So it's not something that you can. I mean, you can try and get it better, but it just happens sometimes.
On our end, a lot of the fumbles were caused by guys flying in and putting their hat on the ball, and that's the technique that you're trying to get to all week. So that was I kind of think the fumbles that we were coming up with were a lot of guys adding on to the piles, and I was fortunate to come up with a couple of them, and that was just because I was pursuing the ball, so they were popping out. So.
Chris, when you on your touchdown, when you dove and touched the ball high line, was there any doubt that that would be ruled a touchdown?
No, I feel like I had in my head that I was going to score on that play. So even if it was kind of clogged on that side, I feel like I was trying to get in no matter what.
For both of you guys, it was a really choppy, disjointed game. In one point in the second half, there were 4 turnovers within the span of 11 plays. Just what's it like when there's no real rhythm to the game? What's it like being in and out? How do you handle it?
That's part of the beauty of the game. You got to be ready for anything. We call it sudden change. Be ready for sudden change. And I mean, if you're a fan of any defense, you'd appreciate a game like that. So I would just attest to the other team. They did a great job forcing turnovers, just like we did. So it was just a good defensive effort.
Yeah, I feel like we drove the ball down a couple times, and they just had a great defense. And you got to award them for that sometimes. And on our side, we kept giving up turnovers, and we gotta try and eliminate turnovers.
Time for maybe one more.
Chris, we've had to talk about the player pressure decisions. We've had pressure all the time. As much, especially until today.
I feel like the whole receiving corps had in our minds that Bryce and Kenan were down, our 2 starting receivers, and someone has to step up and make plays because most plays come from the outside, and we just we had the mindset of we're gonna make plays today, and we're gonna make up the slack that we lost.